Hey guys, so I recently got laid off from my job, and it was for a pretty ridiculous reason. Something about not listening to feedback, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But I know the real reason I got fired. My boss is a B word. That's right, boomer. Now I know you're wondering, Grayson, what is a boomer? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Boomer is another name for someone that was birthed between 1946 and 1964. In other words, a baby boomer. Characteristics of the boomer include old, rich, boring, out of date, rigid, stiff, goal-oriented, competitive, dad, mom, independent, or in other words, lonely. So basically everything that's bringing this country to its knees. Now let me tell you of another generation, the Messiah generation. The generation that includes anybody from the ages 28 to 15. No, not you 30-year-olds. You're not allowed at this party. You're too old. So go ahead and leave. Go on. Get out of here. I'm serious. No, but seriously, we're not going to talk about Generation X because they're the latchkey generation. Which means they came home every night to nobody, so they're probably just here looking for friends. So if you see them, make sure to pat them on the back and tell them to stick with it, champ. We're certainly not going to talk about the traditionalists, because I mean, let's face it, they wouldn't hear us anyway. But as far as my generation goes, we are
the millennials.
Cool name, right? Wrong. It doesn't really reflect our generation's attitude. So let's give it a more fitting name. Generation Y. As in, why are you giving me these ridiculous tasks? And why are we doing it that way when this way is faster? Which brings us to a new segment of the show. You might work for a boomer if. Let me give you an example. If any of these situations apply to you, then you work for a boomer. If you have ever been turned down or fired from a job, or received hassle from upper management for having tattoos/piercing, there's probably a good chance you got a boomer. But they're gonna have to realize they're gonna be alienating much of the upcoming workforce if they want those clean-bodied, Puritan, baptized twice, once for sin, second for good measure souls. Because 67% of the millennials have tattoos, 78% have piercings. So just hire the ex-con. He might be a good person. Hire me. I promise I'd steal your TV. Smile for the camera. He probably just got that tattoo from a drunken night in Panama City. But for real, boomers, give these people a chance. Piercings and tattoos don't immediately mean that you're a bad person. I mean, I consider myself a pretty enjoyable person, and little did you know that I have a Harry Potter tattoo on my lower back. What? It was cool in my day. Now, if this upcoming situation ever happened to you, or any variation of the sort, then you probably work for a boomer.
Johnson, what are you doing on that phone? You know I don't like cellular phones around here. You playing games, boy? You playing that Fruit Ninja?
Actually, no, I was texting Mary Stottle over at the attorney's office, see if we can try to get this deal done by Friday.
Oh, well, good work, Johnston. But you know I don't like those cell phones in the office. You should use email.
Okay. I'll email her. Even though I can do that from my phone, I'll do it the hard way. It's cool. I don't want to argue about this. Come on, let's hug it out. Come on, come here. There you go. That's good for you. Yep. That may have been a tad unrealistic. But you get my point. Boomers typically aren't used to the new technology that's being presented today, while this younger generation, Generation Y, is. They've grown up with it, they see it every single day, so they're used to it, and they can adapt to it. Alright guys, you're probably tired of seeing my face by now, but we're almost done. Before we go, I want to leave you with one question. Which of these two handsome young chaps is the boomer more likely to hire? If your answer was, obviously the one on the right, then you are correct. Now let me ask you something else. Who is more likely to be more productive? And who is more likely to pass out of heat stroke because it is a Georgia summer and the boomer of a boss required a suit and tie? Be careful. This one is tricky. I personally want to be the one on the left. Besides the fact that he's better looking, he probably smells better too. Which decision makes more sense? You tell me. No, but seriously. The reason there's a clash in the workforce between the boomers and the Generation Ys is because there was hardly a generation to bridge the two. Boomers were barely exposed to the casual dressed hipster before they got the millennials' extreme dress code. Because Generation X is squeezed in between two booming generations, so they hardly prepared the boomers for the hell that is the millennials. Now, I am all about being presentable in the workforce, if you are interacting with the human race. But as far as the cubicle worker is concerned, give these guys a break. Their life is probably bad enough as it is. At least extend Casual Friday to every day of the week. So millennials, if you are ever harassed at the workplace because of your dress code, just understand that the boomers can't help it. They were born that way. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and learning today. I know it's not easy to listen to me talk for 5 minutes. I honestly don't know how you did it. But with that being said, my name is Grayson Charette, and this is Comedy Rush TV.